Thank you for taking the time thus far to hear my thoughts on technology and innovation in accounting. This is the final and most eclectic stage of our presentation. This part is meant to be a catch-all for new products and services that I encounter as I explore additional options for improving professional practices. The items discussed here are in this section either because I want to quickly introduce them if they're very self-explanatory, such as courier services, or they require a separate presentation in order to do them full justice. These presentations will be available on my website at a later date. I will revisit this particular area on a regular basis in order to update new discoveries and innovations. I have been studying the CEBA Group for over a year now. They offer a unique tool to enhance shareholder liquidity. It is unique and innovative because it focuses on the goodwill in a particular business. For the record, I am an advocate of the CEBA concept and can attest to it from the perspective of being both a client and an advisor that implements their products. Working with my consulting clients, I found that liquidity for shareholder needs was often a challenge to generate through anything except current operations. I found a very useful tool in CEBA to assist my clients with succession and transition planning. I work with CEBA and my clients to implement the Goodwill Equity Line of Credit as a means to provide a stronger balance sheet and enhance access to mainstream financing. CEBA's target market is professional service firms that have unrecognized goodwill. From my perspective, it has been extremely useful in working with my clients on the consulting side. Cash flow conversations naturally lead to liquidity and financing discussions. CEBA provides an alternative to conventional financing through a patent-pending business process. They have two programs, Goodwill Equity Line of Credit, or GLOC, and Goodwill Acquisition Payment Plan, GAP. Through these programs, CEBA offers the following: low-cost business financing without the restrictions of traditional lending requirements, a current lending rate of 3.2% per annum, increased working capital and enhanced cash flow for your business, flexible financing terms, effective protection of business assets, improved shareholder liquidity, merger and acquisition financing, succession planning programs that work, and there's no annual fee. I like the CEBA concept a lot. I currently have my own firm plus a few clients using CEBA. I see this as a solution for any client contemplating a corporate reorganization. I will be reviewing proposals with my main consulting clients this summer to implement CEBA. The results of these implementations will become the subject of future case studies and presentations. I am personally surprised to be including a courier company in a presentation on innovation. However, I have to give credit where credit is due. On average, for every dollar spent on courier services, professional firms spend $2 to $3 managing the services internally. Urban Dispatch provides a new way to manage courier services, significantly reducing or eliminating the hidden costs of courier services. I became a client of Urban Dispatch in May. My administrative staff really appreciate the simplicity and ease in sending packages. We can even pick packages up from client locations. Urban Dispatch provides one central bill for multiple courier companies and access to bulk discounts. The central bill has a surprising benefit. We're now able to easily track and pass along courier costs specific to each client. I personally believe in constant growth through education. When I have spare time, I try to pick up a book relevant to my practice needs. Oddly, I do most of this type of reading when I am traveling to attend a conference on some of the topics already covered. First, I'm going to jointly talk about the firm of the future and the professional's guide to value pricing. I believe that Ronald Baker created the underswell of radical change when he wrote the professional's guide to value pricing, and this has been advanced further by the firm of the future. In all honesty, these are not books that you will read relaxing at the beach or in a comfortable armchair in front of a roaring fire. Personally, I had to read these books at my desk with pen in hand to take notes. I suggest that you approach them as a practical workbook that provides the necessary steps to improve your firm's performance and profitability. Mr. Baker and Mr. Dunn challenged the notion that hours worked times an hourly rate should lead to a dollar figure for billing. I am paraphrasing, but essentially they stress that accountants are penalized if they are more efficient in this model. Thus, a firm that avoids technology and does things manually would theoretically earn a greater return than a highly efficient firm that embraces technology. Their alternate reality is that we determine how clients value our services and we bill accordingly. They do offer a lot of complexity in that we should theoretically charge the highest possible fee that a given client is willing to pay. This requires that we spend more time discussing client needs in order to determine their particular wants, needs, and willingness to pay for our services. I personally believe that any person contemplating starting a business should read The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. In his earlier book, Gerber stresses the need for systems and processes in a business. The E-Myth Accountant is specific to accountants and has an interesting approach. Gerber and Darren Root have written this book as an active dialogue, alternating writing a chapter each. Gerber writes generically about systems and processes. In turn, Root speaks specifically from the accountant's perspective on implementing Gerber's advice from the previous chapter. Together, they weave together an interesting story including high-level advice and detailed practical steps for implementation. Eric Ries is an author and entrepreneur. Ries writes from the entrepreneur's perspective. He talks specifically about ways to be more innovative, reduce wasted time, and increase your success rate in business. The focus is to reduce waste and enhance outputs for a business. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation on innovation and technology in accounting. As you know, I have offered my thoughts on areas that I think are critical to the success of any firm. Once you free up some time, you can either choose to spend more time outside work or focus on ways to fill this time with high-value clients and work. A unique marketing approach and new services will be critical to enhancing profitability. Thank you for your attention. I hope that you found at least one item in this presentation that you can implement immediately to enhance the quality of life that you enjoy in your firm. I encourage you to test new solutions and implement those that work for you. If you prefer assistance, we offer implementation and best practices consulting for professional services firms. We would be more than happy to schedule a 30-minute no-obligation phone call to determine if we are a good fit to meet your needs. We also have a 6-part seminar series geared specifically towards accounting professionals. These seminars will be offered as in-person events, typically taking 2 hours per session on a monthly basis. We will also record the seminars and make them available as downloadable webinars. The webinars themselves will take approximately an hour. Please email events@businessinsightcanada.ca if you want further details on these seminars.